Hi, this is Trinisha Cottrell. And welcome back to the channel. Welcome to First Love Yourself, where love, life, and Christ combine. So, today I'm going to be talking about feeding my sheep. I know that is like such a random and weird topic, but I was in bed this morning and I was spending some time with God and just thinking over the things, the decisions that I made in the past, the choices that I've been making lately, and all of the things that I've been doing. And I just, every so often I will hear a word or, while I'm spending time with God, something will be illuminated in the Bible or in a sermon that will speak to me. And I know some people are probably like, what? How does that happen? How do you get a word from God? What is it that you're doing that you're able to hear from Him? And usually the word comes from a random person. It could come from some like the weirdest, most strangest places ever. It could come from the Bible. It could come from a sermon. It can come from a family member, a friend. Usually it's something that God will be trying to tell me, and He'll reiterate it over and over again. It's not like one person says one thing and I'm like, oh, okay, that's from God. It'll be something that I read in the scripture and it's illuminated. It stands out so much compared to anything else. I will hear a sermon and that same word will be magnified. And then it might be something where I'm riding down the road and I'm listening to a gospel song, or I'm listening to some kind of audio book or something, and that word again is illuminated. And usually that's how I get a word from God. It's me reading my Bible and something just pops out. I mean, it's like I can't ignore it. It's not bolded. It's not something that is different from all the other words. It's not something that is just in my head that I'm just thinking about. It literally will be something like, feed my sheep. And then the Lord said, if you love me, feed my sheep. If you love me, tend to my sheep. And feed my sheep will be the thing that's like, whoa. And then while I'm listening to a sermon, it could be about everything else. It could be about Joseph and his multicolored coat and his brothers and him, jealousy. And it could be about so many different things. And in the sermon somewhere, the pastor will say something like, feed my sheep. And again, in my ears, I can hear it loud. Like I can't ignore it. And I know that's a word from God. Usually it happens about 3 times. Three. I don't know if it happens more than 3 times, but usually whenever it's a word from God, for me, I don't know how it is for everybody else, but I usually hear it exactly 3 times. And the first time I'm like, okay, I think this is from God. The second time I'm like, okay, all right, I'm like, all right, this is supposed to be, this is something that's really standing out. And then the third time, I'm like, okay, God, now you showing off. I understand. Okay. And I think it's so important for us to have that moment, that time with God, so that we can hear His instructions, so that we can hear what it is that we need to be doing in life. And I know some people may not understand. Some people may say, oh, well, that's not God, or I should be able to do whatever I want. It's my life. I personally want to live my life to serve other people. My life is not mine, it's the Lord's. It's not just for me to be satisfied. It's not just for me to be pleased. It's not just for me to get everything that I want and never do anything for anybody. It's for me to help, to add to the world. I want to be a blessing to the world, to other people. I don't want to be a hindrance or a burden to other people. And I think it's so important for us to remember that we're here for a reason. We're not here just to do everything that satisfies the flesh, to just feed into every temptation, to just do whatever it is that we feel like doing. We are here for a purpose. It's time for us to get real about our lives and stop acting like we're so egotistical, so selfish that we only have to serve ourselves. It's time for us to really just start thinking about other people. to really pour into ourselves and help add to the world. It's so easy to say, well, I did it on my own. They got to do it on their own. No person, nobody does it by themselves. There's always someone that takes a chance on you. There's always someone that opens the door for you. There's always someone who you talk to during that season that helps you be and stay motivated, stay focused on what it is that you need to do. You have to believe in yourself first. And having that other person helps you push forward. Having that other person helps you be able to say, okay, this is just a moment. I can keep going. Having God in your corner allows you to know that no matter what's happening, everything is going to be okay. I really just want to do the best that I can. I want to be the type of person that makes God proud of who he created me to be. During this spiritual walk, go backwards and forwards. When I rededicated my life to God, I was on the straight and narrow, just walking in one direction, just doing everything right as much as I possibly could and not making any choices willingly or choosing to make a bad decision. I constantly was doing what was right. And every once in a while, I do something that is not right, or, it wouldn't be something that is the best thing to do. And lately, I've been doing stuff like that. And I feel like it's important to be open and transparent and honest, because people who are struggling in their spiritual walk, people who just gave their life to Christ, people who rededicate their life to God, people who are struggling see us Christians, religious people, and they think, I got to do everything right. I can't never make a mistake. And that's not true. You will always make some sort of mistake because it's for you to learn from. Those are all tests and trials and tribulations that you will go through that will make you a better person on the other side. One thing that is really helpful to me in life that may help you is knowing that you can always go back to God. I'm not saying that you should just willingly just choose the wrong decisions or anything like that. But know that no matter what you do in life, it's never too late to give your life to God. There's nothing that you've done that's so wrong that you should turn away from God. It's important to know that you can run to him no matter how many mistakes you make, no matter what you do wrong in life. In my single season, while I'm on this journey in life, I will meet certain people and it'll teach me so much about myself. I'll feel like I'm healed. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry for crying on this video, but I usually don't cry any other time besides in these videos, or I might have like a big cry sesh. But I really could feel like I'm healed, and when I meet certain people, it'll really teach me the areas it'll teach me the areas in my life that I'm still not healed yet. I'll feel like I'm fine and I can do the things that I need to do, and that pain from heartbreak just blinds me. It in situations where I should make a different decision, in areas of my life where I'll meet nice people or there'll be like really great men, and I'll feel like I'm healed and something will happen and it'll trigger me, or it'll make me feel like I felt in my past relationship, and the person could be doing absolutely nothing wrong. And I'm like, I thought I was healed in this area. How is it that I'm still hurting here? How is it still that this is still an area of my life that I'm broken? How is it that I'm not okay in this area? And I don't even do it intentionally. I don't even realize that I'm doing it most of the time. It's like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I felt like I had plenty of time to heal, and that I'm in a good place in my life, and I am. And every time I get close to meeting somebody or being with somebody or whatever else, I just feel so triggered. I feel so, I feel fine for the most part, and something will happen in a relationship, or something will happen when I'm talking to someone, or they will say or do something. And it's not that they're a bad person, it's not like they do anything wrong, but I will start to feel like this unbearable pain inside, this second guessing, the cynicism. I will start to just feel like, oh my gosh, something's wrong with me. Oh my gosh, I did something wrong. Oh my gosh, and it's not that big of a deal. It could be something so minute. And in my mind, I will be freaking out. And that's usually where the adversary will come in and drop in cynicism. He'll start to say, see, you're not good enough. See, you're not you're not going to be successful in a relationship. See, you can't be in a kingdom marriage. See, you can't do this. Like anything that comes to relationships, because that's my weakness right now. The adversary will use it against me and start making me feel like complete crap. I have to pray. I have to literally seek God. I have to speak a whole bunch of affirmations into myself. I have to dig so deep and fight so hard against this thing to be able to make it through that wave of doubt and guilt. And I don't know if I'm the only person that struggles in that area. I I've been doing this thing lately. When something doesn't happen the way that I want it to, or the way that I envisioned, and I don't have any expectations for any people at all, because something that I like to tell myself, and I don't know if it's healthy or not, but it's this quote. It says, expect nothing, appreciate everything. Because I don't want to put expectations on any person. I want them to be who they are and just be a person of their word. If they say they're going to do it, I want them to be able to do it. I want. That doesn't mean that that person is going to do that or step up or any of those things. It's their choice. I can't make someone do anything they don't want to do. And sometimes it will just be something that doesn't even matter, or something that is normal. But for me, it's like I can just think back to a time where I just felt like unwanted, unappreciated. I could think back to a time where I felt like I didn't matter. And I literally had to do so much work to get to a place where I love myself, where I knew that I do matter, because you always matter to God. God knows every hair on your head. He knew you before you were formed in your mother's womb. And it's so easy to forget that when you're in the world. It's so easy to forget that when you're talking to with other people, whatever else. But it's important to remember that you can't seek validation from a person, and you have to allow people to be who they are. And you can't just come up with this imaginary fantasy version of the person and expect them to live up to that unrealistic expectation. You have to let people be who they are, and it's their choice to treat you the right way or to not. It's their choice to be a man of their word or not. It's their choice to say they want to talk to you or they don't want to talk to you. They don't have to be at your beck and call. And they don't have to be readily available. They don't have to be God to you in your life. You already have a God. You already have the only, one and only God. Nobody else can be him. I think it's important for us to know and acknowledge our pain, acknowledge our weaknesses, so God can help us. I literally, the other day when I was struggling, and something so simple happened, like I think it was like a missed call or something. And I know I'm going to get so judged. People are going to be so mean, so rude in the comments about this. But I know I can't be the only one, and it might help somebody. So I don't care how foolish I look. I'd rather be wise in the world and look foolish and have the wisdom that God gave me, and to be foolish with God's plans, than to act as if I know everything and like nothing ever bothers me and not help somebody. So there was a missed call, and in my mind, I freaked out. It's a normal thing. People have their own lives. Stuff happens. Anything could have been going on. Something could have been, whatever else. It wasn't like the person said, "Oh, I'm gonna be call me at such and such time," and just didn't answer or ignored my phone calls or anything like that. Nothing like that happened. And immediately, as soon as the phone call was missed, I felt fine. Then about 15 minutes or so later, I just started feeling all of this self doubt. I started feeling like, well, maybe something is wrong with me. Maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I'm not the person who God thinks that I am. Maybe I'm not the person that I believed that I was before. Maybe I'm the only person who sees my value, my worth. Maybe I'm the only person who knows that I could be an asset. Maybe I don't have anything to give somebody. Maybe I am not this, I'm not that. I mean, the list went on and on and on. And it was a good 15, 30 minutes of me just feeling horrible about myself. And I like to sit here and pretend like, oh no, as soon as I started feeling that way, I just started combating it with all of these positive things. That's what I should have done. That's what I will try to do in the future. I was so deep in my head, I didn't even have a moment to start to believe in myself. And sometimes we feel like we have to be perfect and we have to do everything the right way. We just have to always be on it. We're not always going to be on it. You have to give yourself grace. Stop feeling like you have to be perfect all the time, because nobody is perfect. Stop feeling like you have to have it all figured out, because you don't. You're going to make mistakes. And you're going to feel crappy some days. You're going to second guess. You're going to second guess some of the decisions that you make in your life. You're going to get hurt. You're going to feel pain. You're going to learn all of these lessons in life. And it's not going to look like gold every day. It's not going to look like rainbows and unicorns and butterflies. Life is life. It's hard. You got to get it in the mud. Like, you got to be 10 toes down in faith. You cannot just pretend as if just because you give your life to God, just because you choose to do the right thing, that all of a sudden everything is just perfect. Nothing is perfect. It's always a lesson. It's important to know where you're struggling so you can take it to God so that He can help you in that area. When I was struggling, when I was feeling that way, the first thing I did was I did not turn to God like I usually would. I literally just kept beating myself up, feeling like crap, feeling unwanted, unloved, unworthy, unvaluable. And for no reason. Nothing was even happening. It was just, I was triggered. And real life was just happening. It wasn't like the person who was on the other end of the call was like just ignoring me. They literally said they had a lot of stuff to do. They were doing something that was important to them, that is important to me. And I was being real silly. And I don't know why. I wish I could say that I handled it the best way that I possibly could, but I learned so much from the person because they taught me how to be mature in a situation like that. He could have easily have said, oh, well, forget you, forget what you're saying, your feelings don't matter. But the person handled it with so much grace, so much dignity, so much patience, even though I was dead wrong. You know, they literally were like, okay, so what's going on? I can tell that you feel blah, or something's going on here, or you feel like this, or, you know, talk to me. And I told them how I was feeling, like, for real, being honest, everything. I mean, I didn't say, like, I feel like crap and all of these other things, but I did say, I felt some type of way and this was what was going on. And I started immediately thinking, okay, did I do something wrong? I did say that, but I didn't say all the other crappy stuff. And the person gave me this patience, this grace. They displayed so much maturity, and it gave me a place to feel, to just be, not to put on an act, not to look like something that I'm not to be perfect, but to be completely disheveled, broken, looking a hot mess, and still be accepted. And I thought that was the coolest, most awesome thing that I've ever seen in my life. You know, we have to give ourselves grace. We're not going to be perfect. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to do the wrong things. It's important for you to know where you're struggling so that you can take it to God so that He can help you in that area. It's important for you to really be real with yourself. Don't just be like, oh no, I'm fine. Everything's good. I'm okay. I do all of these things right. I'm perfect. Look at me. Like, no, you faking is not helping you at all. You have to be real with yourself. Something that I always like to say is I need to be able to look myself in the mirror and be honest, be real. I'm not trying to be hypocritical. I'm not trying to sit here and fake for nobody. I'm going to be who I am. And regardless of what anybody else thinks, that's what I'm going to do. Because I have to be able to look myself in the mirror and say, I'm proud. I'm pleased of the person that I am. I'm happy with the choices that I made, even though I made mistakes, even though I mess up, even though I fail in certain areas. When I can be real with myself, it helps me grow. It helps me learn. It helps me be a better person. And I can't do that faking. I can't do that pretending as if I'm not flawed. I can't do that if I'm just putting on this fake thing for other people. When people see me smile, it's because I'm really happy. It's not just because I want to look like I'm smiling for other people. you know, when people see me, I'm the type of person that doesn't fake about how I feel at all. If I feel a certain type of way, I feel that way. And I always remind myself, like if I had a crappy day or something, I know that me still breathing is God's grace and mercy, and I need to keep it moving. I need to acknowledge the fact that I feel that way and then put on my best face. Like, because it's not someone else's, no one else did anything to me. This is something that I'm dealing with personally. So if I was upset, if I was sad about something, I acknowledge the fact that I felt upset and sad, and then I keep moving with my life. I think about how grateful and thankful I am for all the things that I have. I appreciate the life that I've been given. I appreciate my ability to breathe, to speak, to talk, to taste, to walk, all of the things. And I smile because I know that God is still giving me another opportunity to live. And that's better than any struggle, anything that I'm going through. That's why I'm smiling. It's not because I want to pretend as if my life has no problems, because that's unrealistic. Life is going to always life. It's up to you to deal with all of the things that you're struggling with in the right way and a healthy way, whether that's therapy, life coaching, whatever it is that you need to do. Don't feel like you ever have to carry any burden alone, because you don't. God graced people to help you in your life because He knew that you can't carry that heavy load alone. Those people are there so that they can help you in the season that you're in the life that you're in. Not just for you to just feel like you got to carry the weight of the world on your shoulders and you're one person. that is never intended just for you. Know that people allow people to be a part of your life who are supposed to be there, and God to remove the people who aren't. You have to be real with yourself. I know I said that several times, but some people didn't hear it the first time, and it's a study that suggests that saying it 3 times allows you to be able to hit the point home. It really resonates, and it allows people to really hear it the third time that you say it. So never forget who you are. Pour into the world. Don't just take away from it. Allow yourself to be flawed. Know that you're not going to be perfect, and it's okay. You don't have to be perfect. When you're struggling, when you're going through something, just be real with yourself and do better the next time. You don't ever have to be perfect. You just have to be willing to be better. So thank you so much for watching. Give me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys either later today or tomorrow. Have a good, amazing, fantastic Friday.